Yeah, rolling? Okay. So, this is my first video. I'm going to show you something that I mentioned in the Solving Equations -10 handout. Okay, the last handout for everything that will come on the test. Something called the 7-step process, if you read the title here. So, it appeared on the last handout, and we didn't talk about it for too much, so I wanted to show at least a little bit what it's about. It's something that I invented. There's nothing given by the universe, the 7-step process, that you have to know. But it includes many different sorts of questions that you will be asked on the test, for example, and that you should know. So we're just going to do it once as an example. It's written down in the same way in your last handout with different numbers, another example. So you should check both out, both this video and the handout. Okay, so if we can zoom in here. So the 7-step process, it says to examine the symmetry of the quadratic function f of x, and this is my example now, -2 times x squared minus 4 times x plus 2. So there might be any numbers here. We're going to treat this information as given. So this is the given information, and we're going to examine something that we call symmetry. I put that into quotation marks because we're actually going to take out a lot of information from this guy. I use the word symmetry just to have a fancy name in there because that's how I roll. Okay, so first of all, we're going to state, so number one, what are we going to do? We are going to state A, B, and C. Okay, so state A, B, and C. This is like a 1-mark question that most students got correct on the quiz that we had a little bit a while ago. So as you can see, A is the coefficient in front of the x squared, B in front of the x, and C is the last number that stays behind. Sometimes I refer to this as the tail of the function. It's the only number without an x in it. So, okay, A, B, and C, this is a write down sort of answer. I just write down the answers. A is equal to -2, B is equal to -4, and C is equal to +2. Okay, done. Number 2, state the y-intercept. Okay, so if you remember, the y-intercept is where the function crosses the y-axis. So always x is equal to 0. So we already have a point, x equal to 0. We have one coordinate, sorry. Why? Because it is the y-intercept. The y-intercept always has x equal to 0. But what is y? Well, if I put in x equal to 0 into this function, we will have, so f of 0, because x is 0 here, so f of 0. Sometimes we call this y equal to something with x squared, and this is a synonym for that. So you could also say that y is equal to all of this. These two symbols will be used interchangeably. -2 times x squared, well, x was 0, so it's just -2 times 0. 0 squared is 0. Minus 4 times x, well, x was 0, so 0 there, plus 2. So -2 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, so both of these first two terms, they will cancel out, remains only the 2, number 2. And that's exactly what we had here, C. C is equal to 2. It's the only term that survives when I put x equal to 0. So the y-intercept is, answer, y-intercept is, let's write a colon, it's always a point, so x equal to 0, and in our case C, which is 2. So this is how I write my answer, 0,2. Okay, good. So we have done 2 steps of the 7-step process. Now I know, here's my little secret stash of paper. I'm going to take a new one. I'm going to keep this one here. Let's do number 3. Calculate the x-coordinate of the vertex, and you will be given a formula for the x-coordinate of the vertex. It's the same formula that you were given on the quiz that I will, because we're going to write the test here in class, in the classroom, I'm going to write it up on the whiteboard when we are sitting down and writing it. So the formula is x equal to -b over 2a. That's the x-coordinate of the vertex. The vertex is a point like any other point, but the x-coordinate of it is given by this thing here, negative b over 2a. So if we look on our first piece of paper here, b was negative 4. So negative b will be negative 4 divided by 2 times a, and a was negative 2, so I put multiplied by negative 2. Okay, and now it's just a simplification procedure. Negative 4, that's positive 4. 2 times negative 2, well, that's negative 4. So 4 divided by negative 4 is negative 1. So that's the x-coordinate of the vertex. And if that was the question, then this is my answer. X-coordinate of the vertex is x equal to negative 1. So x-coordinate of vertex. Let's move on into step number 4 quickly, and that is to get the y-coordinate of the vertex. I know that x equal to negative 1 is my x-coordinate, but what is y when x is equal to negative 1? For that, I have to go back to the beginning definition of my function. You will have different numbers here when you are doing your own examples, or if this occurs on the test. But let's do it for our example now. So y will be equal to, well, up here, negative 2 times x squared. So negative 2 times x is negative 1, so negative 1 squared. Minus 4 times x, so that's minus 4 times negative 1, and plus 2, so plus 2. And now we're once back to the simplification procedure. Negative 1 squared is positive 1. Negative 2 times positive 1 is just negative 2. Negative 4 times negative 1, that's positive 4. And then we have a plus 2 in the end. So negative 2 plus 4, that's positive 2, plus 2 again, that's equal to positive 4. Did I say this correctly? Negative 2 plus 4 is equal to positive 2, plus 2, which is positive 4. So the vertex, the total point of the vertex is now the coordinates x comma y. Well, x was equal to negative 1 and y is equal to 4. So this is my vertex point. Voila. So this is my answer for finding the vertex. And good. How does it feel so far? Good? Bad? I think it's we can take a break now and then we continue with step number 5 in a second.